Alright guys, before today's episode, just a wee reminder that we are now on Patreon. For as little as £3 a month, you can sign up and get access to an extra episode every 2 weeks, as well as bonus content from our live shows and first dibs on tickets to our upcoming live shows. If you are listening to this podcast on the day it comes out, we actually have a live show tonight, Wednesday the 23rd of August at the Monkey Barrel at 11:30pm this evening.
I'd love it if we shifted some tickets like this.
If this is how we sell this out, we just have recorded the last one there with Paul Black and Chris Macarthur-Boyd. It was a lot of fun.
Super fun. Thanks to everyone that came out to that. Yeah, it was a laugh.
Yeah, it was really fun. Good laugh. Apologies to Steve for...
yeah, we went a bit hard on Steve
and
places.
Stevie, because people, a bunch of folk had just came to see the show, and we were just like whining off about it
because it's just little videos.
Because videos and that, but it's actually very funny.
It's great. It's fantastic.
It's brilliant, and
we're fans.
We are fans. I'm one of the biggest Steve B fans. I've always said that. But yeah, so obviously sign up to Patreon if you want to come see the live show, and of course we do have a live show in London, in the 9th of September as well. Tickets still on sale for that. But yeah, if you are listening today and you want to fucking come through to the Fringe and somehow manage to get back from Edinburgh at
get on the cans now and get the train.
Absolutely.
We'll see you there.
We'll also have some more content from some gaff that we're recording on now over the coming weeks while we're still at the Edinburgh Festival, and we've got plenty of exciting guests lined up that we've been speaking to while we've been in Edinburgh. But aside from that, guys, hopefully see you at the live show tonight if you're coming, and enjoy today's episode.
Enjoy.
Welcome to the Some Laugh Podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh.
No.
I don't think so.
Turn it off.
I don't hate it.
Turn it off. For the listeners or the viewers, the football's right
We are
here.
watching
You can't see.
Brentford, Tottenham.
It basically looks, the setup
Even
we've got at the moment,
Perisic
it
has
looks
just come
like
off
we
the
are
bench.
we're going to film ourselves like doing live
It
commentary
looks like a
of the
Twitch
game.
thing.
Yeah,
That would be fun. We should try that.
could actually do that.
I wouldn't know any
Tamsyn,
names.
I'd be
commentate for a while.
No, I'd be so happy to say nothing through that hard. Yeah, that sounds great.
You're from Cornwall. What are the Cornish teams?
We don't have any. We've
Why?
got Plymouth Argyle, but
Aye.
that's not in Cornwall.
Is it not?
No, it's just the nearest one.
You talk a lot of smack about Plymouth in your show.
I do slag off Plymouth a lot.
Is that a big rivalry? Oh.
Jenks.
Oh,
Yeah.
everyone
Hey.
wants to know about Plymouth. It's not like a massive rivalry, but like I just don't like it there. And they call it the Ocean City, and I think the word ocean is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that phrase.
So
But,
is City
yeah.
by the sounds of it as well. I don't know. Is
I don't know. I mean, when I went there for the first time, I remember being so scared that I was going to get lost. I'd never been anywhere that big before.
How big is it?
It was like about 2 streets. That's 2 more than I was used to. So
Looking up at the skyscrapers and all that.
yeah, 3 stories. Wow.
We've got a big fan from Cornwall, actually.
Oh really?
Do you know him? Crispin.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Shout out Crispin. He's from Cornwall.
He's from one of those 2
He
streets.
comes up. He's actually coming up to see our shows.
But he's not coming to see me.
He might after this.
What was the
After
name of the
this.
cider again they had?
Rattler.
Rattler Pear.
Rattler,
'cause you
yeah, I
were very
love Rattler.
jealous.
I'm really upset about this, I can't lie. I'm trying to keep it in.
Why?
have you guys got free Rattler and I've got nothing?
Well, maybe after this you'll be sent some.
Yeah.
It's
I
weird.
would
It's
like
like
some.
Tamsyn's getting free tenants and we're not. It makes
I know.
no fucking
Yeah.
sense.
Yes, so,
Is Rattler a Cornish cider?
Yeah, that's what you get drunk on when you're younger. I mean, it's for people of all ages. I'm not going to sit here.
Is that why it's called Rattler? You just
You
like
get
fucking
rattled.
you get rattled.
Yeah,
on it?
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Ah.
Yeah, I guess like you know how snake bite. That's what it reminds me of. But it doesn't taste like that. It's delicious.
It's really
and I
delicious.
It was good.
Some.
We had them at the live show and fucking.
And it did rattle us.
That's
Steve
a
was
couple.
fucking rattled.
I was steaming. I was like, I had 1 pint of Rattler here, and then I kept getting mixed up and like going to drink it.
He was drinking
It
his
was the
microphone.
mic. I kept catching myself doing it.
Yeah, that's
Steaming
the
Pete
Rattler.
Shaggin.
That's
That's
what
the
I'll do
Rattler
to you.
for you.
Podcast recorders and Rattlers. Not a good mix.
Do they have telly adverts?
No, not that
I
I've
just
seen.
think that'd be good. That's the Rattler.
I think I don't know what I think I'm trying to remember the orchard. I think I've been there where they make it, and I'm trying to remember what it's called and I can't. And I knew the girl there, and I got a free tractor ride, and I look like a celebrity, like amongst all of my family. To my family, they're like, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll get us a free tractor ride." Yeah, like that's the kind of like big dick energy I've got in Cornwall, you know. So
Are you a big name in Cornwall?
no.
No.
I don't know. I no, probably not. I don't want to say yes because
that sounds big-headed.
yeah.
Is there any? What's the biggest celebrity
Yeah,
from
who you
Cornwall?
got?
He is a friend of mine, so I guess by association, but he's called Kerno King. Kerno means Cornwall in Cornish.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
And he's Kerno King, and
What does he do?
he does like comedy and acting. Do you
Oh.
know the film Bait?
No.
Do you remember that one? I think did it win a BAFTA?
Me and Steve don't know about films.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't.
Or
Famously.
Mark's not saying anything
I'm
either.
really
To be
blanking
fair.
on this one. at all.
Baked. Won a
Bait,
BAFTA.
like fish, like bait.
Oh,
when you-
bait?
yeah, bait.
Is it about fishing?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's good. He's in that. So
Alright,
yeah,
okay.
Cornwall
He's-
King's in that.
Kerno King. Yeah, he's got a real name.
Are you protecting his anonymity?
Yeah.
So he committed a crime.
No, he should just be known as the king, and that's it.
He
you know?
must have more people than that. Oh, well, there's a couple of Cornish questions that I want to bring up, right? I don't want to steer too, soon into the divisive issue of Cornish independence.
Yeah, let's get political. I'm here for it.
Yes.
But
This isn't a
that is a
gotcha.
genuine political movement in Cornwall, is that right?
It is. I support it.
Yeah.
Why?
So you would.
Did you say why?
No, well, I said why, but the intonation suggested why.
It's just having a bit of a resurgence, isn't it? Because everyone's pissed off.
Aye.
Like they wanted the fishing quotas changed, and they didn't get changed, and now everyone's like, well, I just think we're separate anyway. We could just kind of like get a spoon and just dig a little bit, and we could just cut ourselves
Yeah.
loose and sort of float off. I think that's
Yeah. I
Join
would support
France.
that.
Yeah, why not?
Tamsyn does have the most civic pride of anyone I've ever met in my life.
I hear that a
You're
lot.
so proud of Cornwall.
I am. It's really good.
I'd like to visit. It seems really
Yeah,
nice.
I've never been.
Is it
Should we
very?
do
I've
some
been-
laugh live in Cornwall?
I've been. I used to go. I was saying to you last night. Like I used to go to Newquay for some shit
Is that
family
Cornwall?
caravan holidays. Well, is it Cornwall? Because you
yeah,
said
it
to me
is
last
Cornwall.
night.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
in like the middle.
That's
it's quite
that's
far
a
from
football
me.
team, is it not? Newquay.
Is it?
We've
I
got
don't
one,
think they've got
but
a
I don't know
football
if it's that
team.
great.
Yeah.
But I went and done a tour of the Scrumpy place. They make
Scrumpy
Scrumpy.
Jack.
Oh, that's the same cider farm as I'm talking about. I
Oh,
think.
they?
Yeah.
I never got a fucking tractor ride.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have got a free one.
Who do you
that's
need
for
beer
sure.
in this place? I mean, I was like 6, but aye. So that's the same place.
Healy's. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Healy Cider Farm. Yeah, it's just outside of Newquay.
Ah.
Yeah, nice. Did you go to Waterworld?
I might have done it. I was young, so I can't really
What's
remember
what?
that
It's
much.
actually
but-
sick. It's got
Yeah.
so many good slides. It's just a pool with some slides, but it's banging.
Is that where you pissed yourself?
No! That was in a... No, it would have been so much better if I'd pissed myself on a water
I mean, that's the
slide. That
place
would have
for it,
been
right,
the
yeah.
perfect crime. I pissed on a dry slide, which is not... I'm not going to go on every podcast with comedians and talk about how I pissed down a
Did you
slide.
just need some? Did you just think you needed some lubricant? Because sometimes you think, oh, it's going to be really
She was used
sore
to
in my
wet
legs.
slides. She's like, well, let
I
nature
just
take
thought,
course.
this slide could be better, and I know how to make it better. No, I was quite young. I won't reveal how. It's not that young, so embarrassing. And I got to the top of the slide. There was a big queue for this slide. It's like just a big slide at the garden centre. And I was busting for a wee, but I was so desperate to go on the slide. By the time I'd climbed up to the top of the slide, I shouted down to my mum, "I really need a wee." And she went, "Well, come down." And
On
I
the
just couldn't compute the information.
You could have been in a better place to get down quickly.
Right. So I peed down the slide and then went down the slide.
Was it a big slide or was it quite a
She,
Yeah, it was. I just slid into a puddle of my own piss, if that's what you're asking.
but you finished the pee and then you slid down.
Huh?
You finished the pee and then slid down. Is that right?
What are
Yeah.
the onlookers making of this spectacle?
I didn't look behind me. Like that would have been the worst thing. But I kind of imagine the kids were kind of working out, well, if I go down third after this girl, maybe I'll be okay.
Yeah, you want a bit of
Someone
weight
with a
on it.
fleece will mop it up. Like, yeah.
Just stop oil protesters. Yeah, for fuck's sake, I'm trying to get in a slide. But
That's funny. Have you? So when did you go to Cornwall?
I was a wee guy because I think my mum and dad used to like going a lot, and I think I maybe went when I was like a baby, and then I went back when I was maybe like I don't know, 9 or 10 or
Right.
something like that.
It's quite. Is it overrun by tourists?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's,
I'm
they're
glad you
buying-
said tourists at the end of that sentence.
Why, what did you think?
Well, you could have said immigrants or something, which I
Why
assume
would I
some
say
people.
that?
He could have said what?
Immigrants or something like, you know, oh, you know, that end of the country, you know, that south of England, Devon, all
Coming
this
off
stuff.
the National Express, all
Aye.
of them immigrants.
Jennings,
Is
how
it
long
quite
have you known me?
Brexit?
Why would that be something I would be saying?
Just overrun as it swarmed with tourists.
To be fair, you did tell me that you've got a word for the tourists.
We call the tourists emmets.
Emmets.
Yeah, which means ants.
So that does
Ants.
sound like swarming to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, crawling with emmets is what you'd say. It's absolutely crawling out there. Yeah.
That's a great accent.
They're buying like second houses and stuff. Is that a big problem?
Yeah, it's a massive problem. Yeah, everyone I know is living in a van. Not the same van, they've got their own vans. It's not got that bad yet.
Really?
Well, yeah, or just like, it is really hard to get a house, of course it is,
Yeah.
because all the second homeowners, and then, I don't want to start slagging them off, but like, they come down.
They come here.
They ain't got a bloody clue. Yeah, and we don't, oh, here we go. We just don't have the infrastructure for it, okay, guys?
Fair enough.
We've got like one hospital, and it's always like, yeah, it's always just totally fucked. So,
Really? Oh my
yeah.
God. But you say you're proud of it. You've got your pride. What was
Yeah.
the word you
Civic
said?
pride.
Civic pride. What is the thing you're most proud of Cornwall for?
We've got, I think Cornish people have got a really nice attitude to life, and it's very, very beautiful. And like, I think those two things go hand in hand, like quite uniquely. And yeah, it's really. I mean, we're at the very end, my lot. Like we're right at Land's End.
Uh-huh.
So
All right.
yeah, we
Have you
could.
ever done the Land's End to John O'Groats?
Nah, I'd do it the other way round for a start.
You just go back to your house after that.
Yeah.
Behind
Oh
it.
damn! I've got to get all the way back now. No, I haven't done that. But like, I think if you're like at the end, you could be really weird, you know. But I think they're not. I think they've actually got it. They've got a lot of stuff pretty bang on, I reckon. So the way that they live, yeah.
Is that why you don't have many famous people from around your neck of the woods? Because you know Land's End is already on the map, so there's no need to be the person to put it on.
Jesus Christ,
Okay,
Jennings,
How do I
wow.
answer that?
Wow.
I'm gonna put
So
Land's
tortured.
End on the map. Too late, buddy. It's already done.
No famous people from John O'Groats either. to be fair.
Except the man
Except
himself.
John.
Yeah, Big John.
Yeah, I don't know. I think but people don't really care about it. They're quite happy to have it just for us.
Because
Yeah.
this is a thing, I suppose, because like we feel in Scotland and even the north and all that you get neglected by the Westminster bubble and all that shit in the southeast of England. But you guys, yours is over in the west, and as you say, yours are tucked away. You're fucking ages for all that as well, and you must just feel like he's get ignored. So I can
Oh,
understand.
there's
that.
exactly the same feeling
Yeah.
like towards Westminster. Yeah, everyone hates them. So
I know, and then but it's just like I guess that feeling, and it must be annoying as well. Like if you say you've not got the infrastructure and all that sort of stuff that they would maybe have in the southeast, but they're like, oh, we'll come here on holiday, but not give a fuck about the mess we leave behind.
yeah, I mean, I do like obviously we do get some percentage of income from these guys.
Sure.
It's not as much as you'd think, but it would be nice. Like lots of people do just stop at Devon and don't get any further, and I think that really separates the sort of wheat from the chaff. You know, like. We must get the best ones because we're so far away.
So is Devon just before or Cornwall? Yeah.
Just next to Cornwall. Yeah.
So is it a similar accent? No.
I don't know. I guess some people think it was, but like some people think like Bristol and Cornish. No, we don't sound like we're from Bristol.
Okay.
No.
I hate the Bristol accent. I went to on a date.
Plymouth, Bristol, fucking put them all in blast.
Yeah, that's all the north to me. I went on a date with a guy from Bristol, and I didn't want to carry it on, and he was like, and I told him I didn't like his accent.
Really?
And I didn't like
You can't
it.
say that to someone's face.
Yeah.
Well, he said, don't you find it endearing? I think we were talking about accents. And I was like, I don't really like the Bristol accent, I've got to say. And he was like, don't you find it endearing? But he was like, don't you find it endearing? And I was like, no,
not at all.
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that's
How
a
long
shame.
did that date last?
Why is that relevant?
Just asking.
Okay, it was a couple of hours. I really wanted to go to this particular pub and I had no one to go with. I sound really horrible. I said, I've taken this guy to this pub I wanted to go to and then told him I didn't like his accent. And that was it.
Tell you who it was after Steve, but Tamsyn went on a date with someone we know and it lasted 25 minutes.
It wasn't a date.
How do you get out of that early? What's your line? Do you have a specific line to get out?
I just make sure that there's at the Fringe. I think if you're going for a drink with someone, it's really easy to give yourself the option of like, oh, they've got to go and do something, or I've got to go and do something. If it's really good, if it's really great, maybe I'll cancel it, or maybe I'll go with or whatever. But you can just scheduling is a great tool when it comes to dating.
Yeah, but usually it'd be
tip.
more than 25 minutes you would have, probably. No?
What more? I would usually
you'd have more than 25 minutes. Like you would give yourself a bit more than that.
There was the option for there to be more than 25 minutes. I just chose not to take it.
You can also go, I didn't realise I've left this too late. I've cut it too neat and all that stuff.
Sure.
You know.
That's
lying
good,
is
smart.
a big part of this whole
Lying
Lying is a very useful
They're going to be
tool in
queuing
your
up for you,
arsenal.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by the great football there.
I thought there should have been a penalty to Spurs 10 minutes ago, but I don't want to ruin the podcast.
I was going to say, like, it is a bit of a tragic thing that sometimes, like, an accent will put you off. Like, I remember going on a date with this lassie and she's really lovely, but I'd only spoke to her, like, obviously online or whatever, and she turned up and she just had, like,
what did she sound
was
like?
it an accent or was it like
accent?
No, it was
Let's
like a squeaky voice or something?
It was like a really... It was an accent I've never heard before, but it was like a kind of fifey accent.
Oh, here
but
we
it
go.
was I know, but it was like...
Did she sound like Stu?
No, because he's a well-spoken boy.
But
I've
arguably,
lived a life, Steve. I've been around.
It was like, it was like intense, like it was... I'd never really even heard someone speak like that before. And I was just like, straight away, I was like, no, I can't do this. Actually, that also happened, it happened twice, actually.
Yeah, I've been given
2 goals for 5.
No, the other one was Dundee, I think.
Oh, right,
But
So
it's just-
maybe it's not the accent. Maybe it's just the way that they talk.
Well, the second one was the way they talked and they had a bit of a... This is bad. They had a bit of a lisp.
Yeah, that is...
Oh.
But it's, but it wasn't their
You'd
fault.
have to cut this bit out.
Which wasn't, but...
Do you think that's worse than if they just have a Bristol accent? Is that worse?
Well, having
I
a
think
lisp.
it's more acceptable to dislike an accent than it is to dislike someone because they've got a lisp.
It was a combo.
Did you explain this to me? You've got a
You trying to
wretched
get out of
combo,
it?
I'm sorry.
If it was a Bristol accent with a lisp, what would you be like?
I'd just say I don't like Bristol accent.
But
'cause
yeah,
But
that's
then
the
they'll be
truth.
thinking, sure.
But how
Sure.
much shit do you think because there's a possibility that you could just like end up sort of stuck with somebody and then I could just couldn't listen to that accent the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
I was given the ick by an accent as well. Someone that I was kind of on the verge of seeing, but they kind of spoke to kind of like that, it's kind of softly, and I was like, no,
come on.
can't do this.
No.
So I just
think-
made an excuse. I didn't say it was because of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, voices are really important, aren't they?
Yeah. Not like I've got an amazing voice or anything. She might have been like that.
You're the voice of BBC Sounds, Steve.
Not anymore, actually. It was only 6.
listening to BBC Sounds.
Well, you need to speak up, Ben. We can't hear what you're saying. Was it a low talking thing then, like the Seinfeld thing, or was it just too soft?
It's too soft. It was very soft. And
Did she speak quite slowly?
Yeah, a wee bit. Yeah.
Because that would really... Anyone who speaks if it was soft and slow,
Yeah.
it's like, come on.
It's
Get the
like,
words out.
Life short.
where are we going now?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, oh,
shut
bless.
up.
Have
Sorry,
you always
that's too
spoke?
much.
Have you always spoke the way
That
you
was
do,
far too much.
Tamsyn, or did you used to have a harder accent that you've softened over time?
I think my accent's definitely got softer over time. But I think when I moved to London and I was trying to at drama school, they make you not have an accent.
Oh,
And then I think I slowly come back after
But
losing it.
now it's like it's widely accepted. It's better to have an accent. I would say better to have a regional accent now for acting and stuff. No.
Yeah, I think so. Although, the other day, Amy Gledhill. Oh God,
She was meant to be here, by the way. Let's
Oh,
put
yeah.
her on blast. She cancelled last
Yeah.
minute. We'll see her tomorrow. Gledders, editor of the
Gledhill.
pod.
She had to do a West Country accent for adverts for potatoes or something. I can't remember. So I had to record it for her and send it to her. I'm thinking, well, why aren't I getting asked to do this?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I've already got the
You've got the goods.
I've got the potato accent.
Good, nailed.
So maybe it is good, but also maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, usually you see like adverts. It's like, oh, we're looking for regional accents or whatever, and it just feels like they want that more.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, yeah, just any regional accent will do, won't it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what regional accent.
Seems to be mainly in the voiceover game, as far as I can see, though.
Do you think?
Yeah, well, channels are always making a big noise about setting things regionally, and then otherwise, we want a Scottish sitcom, or whatever, and you hear it for years and years, but where is it?
Yeah, cast London thing. Yeah. Although there is one that's just got announced for BBC Scotland, and they've cast more Scottish people than were in the pilot, who were just people playing Scottish people.
Dinosaur, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least that's on BBC Scotland, though, do you know?
Yeah. What else did they make you do at drama school?
Seems like a loaded
I didn't mean to make it. That sounds a lot darker than I intended.
It sounds like you wanted a locker room story. What
did they make you do?
We had to do we did do weird stuff.
Aye.
Like there was like a class where our teacher wanted us all to get naked.
Oh. Seriously?
Seriously, it was so weird.
Was that a guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
he used to wear a t-shirt that said, "I only date crack whores."
Was this a real...
Is that a real guy?
College?
He probably got it from the same shop that Steve got his I Heart Bad Girls t-shirt.
Yeah.
I owned
Steve used to have go on, tell her.
I owned a t-shirt that said I Heart Bad Girls. There's not much.
On you, that's quite, for some reason, that's quite sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was
the
like,
girl with the soft voice should have seen you coming.
I was
really
like
a bad girl.
I was like 17. Come on, I went through a phase.
Yeah,
we all
sure.
did.
Yeah.
We all
No, this
are
was
bad
like a
girls.
grown adult lecturer.
And it said, I what? Crack horse?
I only date crack whores.
Did he think that was funny?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, it was either funny or completely true.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so he was kind of he was a really weird teacher. He was our head of acting.
What was his excuse for that? Why would he? What was his reasoning for like?
It was like, if you compare, he's from Italy. I can't.
That makes
do it.
sense. No further
He'd
explanation.
be like, if you can bare your soul on stage, why can't you get naked, huh? Like that. And
Really?
yeah, and it was all about like vulnerability, but like, so I actually refused to do that class. I didn't like him very much, and I used to, and he used to say that I was the bitch of the class because I used to stand up to him and say, I don't want to get naked in front of you.
Yeah.
Actually, she's the bitch of the group like that.
That's insane.
And do you think you were able to stand up to him? Because I presume it was a very middle class or upper class sort of. The rest of your classmates were people like that. Do you think that made you?
Yeah. I didn't realise just how working class I was at the time.
Aye.
And like what I'd just come from going into drama school was absolutely mad, and I just never told it. I never spoke to anyone about it. And yeah, everyone was quite middle class. But I remember he did this lecture. There was like basically a 3-hour long lecture about how most of us are charlatans and will never be in the industry. And after an hour and a half, there was a break, and I just went up to him and I was like, "Do you think I'm a charlatan?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Well, what a waste of time that was then." I'm not sitting here and he was like doing this like mystical lecture about how we're all, fakes and frauds and all that. And then I was like, "Do you think that about me?" I just confronted him immediately.
Did you think you're fucking talking to me?
Like School of Rock if Jack Black was a total cunt.
That scene was cut from School of Rock. Jack Black went in with I Heart Crack.
Because you say in your show that you love confrontation. Is that true, or is that just a bit of fun?
I think no, that is true.
I thought it was true, yeah, but
it is true because I don't like ambiguity, and I'd rather just, if there's an issue, I'd rather just discuss it and like hopefully solve it and then move on. Because I think the word confrontation has got bad connotations. That was hard to say at this time.
very lyrical.
Thank you. And I think actually it can be a really good thing, and I think you can be good at confrontation, and I don't think being good at confrontation means like kicking it off.
I think you should give Steve some lessons because he's the least good at confrontation person I've ever met in my life.
I'm the least good at confrontation.
What, as in you're avoidant or you're
spineless?
I'm proud.
Let's not dance around it.
I heart spineless boys.
I I would wear that.
I hate confrontation.
Do
Yeah,
you?
he'll do anything to avoid confrontation.
it. I find avoiding it so painful, much more painful than confrontation. That's why.
But like, what kind of confrontation? Because I'm thinking like people who want to batter me. That's the
Because you're scared
confrontation.
all the time.
Why would anyone
Everyone's
want
out
to
batter you?
Well, just if I'm walking along the street, I just assume everyone wants to batter me.
That is. I walk along the street like I'm going to batter someone. So like that is.
Well, yeah. So I'm like,
I
Different
don't
energies.
really.
No, but Steve, this is a thing that'll happen with Steve a lot. If we'll be out on a night out or something like that, and somebody that we know you don't want to be talking to starts a conversation, mate, and you'll be stuck in that conversation
for the rest of the night. That's me.
That's it.
I can't be like, listen, I don't have anything in common with you. I need to leave and talk to my friends. I'm like, right, well, this is us for
Tell me
the
more
next 4
about
hours.
Tesco Bank.
Or you can't even do that. You can't even, like we were talking about earlier on about making the excuses. and
Making excuses.
You can't just make a
Can't
wee
do
hang up.
that.
Nah,
Can't be like, I'm really sorry. I need to go to the toilet.
no.
I would struggle to leave
Wow.
a date.
I'm going to piss myself
You'd
on
piss
the slide
yourself.
just to avoid it. Yeah.
That is a
Oh,
good way
God.
of getting the focus, I suppose.
Yeah.
But is there any confrontational tips? Did you think that comes naturally to you? Have you had to learn that?
I think I grew up in a really confrontational household.
Aye.
My dad was always like getting into fights and stuff. But like, I think if I feel like someone doesn't like me or someone's like being like rude to me or something like that, I do just want to be like, I'm really sorry. Have I done something to upset you? Like, why are you talking to me like that? Or why don't yeah.
Oh, I wish I could.
Well, that's
Are
healthy.
you guys? How are you?
No, I'm not good either, but I'm better than you.
Okay, it's not competition.
I
If it
remember
was you'd win.
I once read a book called Radical Honesty, and I remember reading it on the train as I was ignoring the train ticket inspector going by, so as that he stood there, and I'd just done that enough that I would make him second guess if he'd checked my ticket already, and then he moved on. So I basically don't practice what I preach, basically.
Yeah.
I
I think you are a bit more confrontational. You'll tell.
had to
people
do
You'll
it.
snap.
I had to
more.
fucking do it the other night. in that
Yeah,
show,
I
didn't
enjoyed seeing it in action. He had to chuck these girls out of his gig.
Did
Yeah,
you?
it's pretty bad.
Oh my God, I'd love to have seen that. How
It
did you
was
do that?
it was great.
It got a bit messy for a wee bit, just because it took too long. It took long to get them
They
away.
didn't want to leave.
And that was one of those ones. Do you know, I had at last Fringe, I had one. Basically, what happened was I had a judge in, and just on my way to the gig, I met Steve, and he said to me, "I've just bumped into somebody who's coming to your show that says they're going to heckle you." And then,
Yeah, and I didn't say that they shouldn't do that.
and
Yeah,
how-
of course you didn't.
Yeah, if they'd bumped into me, I'd have talked them out of it.
he's like, "Oh, that's brilliant!
That's
great,
exactly what you're
he
doing.
loves that.
Come
Oh
to-
my
Nah, I don't.
God.
I'm
So then,
kidding.
how do you prepare for that? Because nothing's actually happened yet. You can't chuck someone out before the fucking show
Yeah.
starts or whatever.
Mm.
And then turned out they sat in the front row and heckled me like twice before I'd like got my first sentence out, and then I just like
Wow.
snapped them straight away. And and I ended up just like I ended up getting through. The show was all right, but then afterwards they came up and they wanted a picture and all this shit, and were trying to say sorry, and I just made it clear to them like I wasn't happy, and they sent me these horrible messages and all that. But see, after that, I think I just realised I need to be more like, see, even if something happens, you can't really control it. You just need to be relaxed with it. But that one the other night, I really tried my best. I think I gave them longer than they should have got.
You gave them a few warnings.
And then I just had to, and then it was one point, yeah, they just said something, and I just went like, just going to fuck off. But the other thing is, like, obviously the nature of the show I'm doing, I wouldn't have been able to get through that last half hour if I was still dealing with
if they were in
constant
the room, it wouldn't have
disruptions.
worked.
So I just knew it, and then everybody, thankfully I just mentioned that it had been my birthday, and then everybody just started singing happy birthday to me as they fucking left.
I don't
So
know if you
good.
want to mention on the pod what you said on the night either, but I was fucking hungry.
Well, I mean, look, I have messaged them subsequently, and they it was fine, and it all get all get sorted. But I mean, the truth of it is, one of them was like a lassie who follows me on Instagram and had messaged me before the show. I think she'd either asked about a comp or something. I think they did pay for tickets, but she'd messaged me telling me she's come before the show. Then sat there. And she was just a bit steaming, and that happened. And then, so as they were going out, I just said, well, like the tragic thing is I was trying to shit a compromise. And I was just saying to the crowd, I was like, I hope you know that I am suffering for a art here. I'm thinking of you guys. I'm not putting myself first. But
I think that's ironically one of the most honest things you're going to hear at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival this year.
I took that as a great compliment.
That was
Radical
funny.
honesty. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
chucked
radical
people out before
honesty.
my show yesterday. They didn't have tickets, so
Oh.
they'd pay what you want queue.
Yeah.
They're fucking steaming, being really loud in the bar. I could just tell they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
What,
So,
at
yeah, just don't let them
your
in.
afternoon show?
Well, 5:45, yeah. But Saturday, that's enough time to get lashed on a Saturday.
Do you chuck them out?
Well, I didn't chuck them out, but there was just a guy who's just like, he was just really loudly doing shite party to me in the hall. And as I was about to get ready, and I was like, I can't deal with this. I'm just, there's better people in the queue. These guys are fucked.
What
They're
sort,
going to ruin the show.
what sort of thing was he saying?
I was taking stuff out of my bag in the hall to prepare for the show. And he came up to me and he's like, oh, he's stealing, what's he stealing? He's stealing. And I was just like, I just didn't even look him in the eye. I was just like, I can't deal with this right now.
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't deal with this loud shit patter right now.
Have you had a really bad one, crowd interaction wise, Tamsyn, that sticks out?
No, I mean the worst. Yeah, no. Just men heckling me. Yeah. But I think I don't really care.
But do you like, because you like confrontation, do you like taking them down?
It depends. Like, somewhere I was once gigging somewhere. I always get a bit nervous when I go to a new place to gig where I've not gigged before. And it was like the first gig at a new place, and the guy heckled me. I can't remember what he said, but I was like, oh no. I was thinking about. I'm at a new place. I wasn't thinking about being heckled. But if I don't really bother, yeah, because people were like sort of talking in the front row yesterday, and I was like straight in there, like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? That's it. But it's a complete like personality switch. It's like, hey, what are you saying? What are you saying? Are you talking about me? What are you saying? Like really confrontational, yeah.
But that's a good way of dealing with it, because it's like kind of involving them, but it's like not to shut the fuck up kind of thing. Which there's nothing wrong with that.
I did actually just say, I mean, so that's sort of see when I just let my gut, I did probably just say, shut, they're going to just fuck off.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that if it was like the first time I'd caught them. Like,
Yeah, no.
I'd be like, yeah.
You
I
give
can
them a
imagine it
chance.
being really mean though if it came to it.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times in, I'd be like, yeah.
I know. Can I say in my defence, by the way, I had a bit of a cold the other night when I was on stage, and so I think my tolerance was very low for it as well. But to be fair, I'd have had to have done that anyway. But yeah, no, that's interesting. You've not had it as much then?
I don't think so.
No. Where did you start? Did you start in London then, doing stand-up?
Yeah. So, because I used to do drag.
Oh, aye?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
really?
drag kinging.
Right, well.
Just for
What
a
was your
laugh.
name?
Bend Overy.
Yes. That's pretty good.
Just for a lol.
Play on the classic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Subverting the
Like, it's only a
classics.
matter of time before she gets into stand up. This one, clearly.
So, for the folks at home, as Norm MacDonald would say, what is a drag king exactly?
it's like a woman dressed as a man.
Aye, so like, but does it still? Would you dress in a man in the sort of effervescent way that a drag queen dresses? Is it still very?
It's really up to you.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was very lazy, and
Right.
so I didn't really. It was just more like a bit of eyeshadow under there. So
Oh.
that was what it came down to. But some drag kings are excellent and
Uh-huh.
like really, and there's like sort of groups of drag kings, and they do like, boy band shows, which is insane.
Aye.
Yeah, yeah. But I couldn't be bothered to carry the costume around with me anymore, so I was like, I'm going to start doing stand up instead.
Yeah. What was your act? What did you do?
I think he was a lettings agent, and I had to talk about the housing crisis.
That'd be relevant now. You should bring that back.
Just before Stathlet's flats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and then someone saw Stathlet's flats and were like, "Someone's nicked your act." I'm not even
You've been
joking.
very Greek in it as well.
A bit Greek, but yeah, it was really fun. But I just couldn't. Yeah, I was too because I've been doing because I'm an actor, so I was doing acting. It seemed like an easier way to get into comedy would be like do a character first and kind of like gently ease myself into the pool,
Absolutely.
and then do stand up. But yeah.
What made you do stand up then? Presumably you went to acting school and stuff. You wanted, and you are an actor.
Yeah,
How come you started doing stand up?
because my boyfriend was a stand-up,
Right.
and I saw all the opportunities he was getting from stand-up, and I was like, I'm getting nothing over here. And I thought it just looked great. I don't know. I'd always done improv and I'd always done like comedy acting was really like my thing. And then I thought, I'll give that a go. It's actually really hard to go from acting to stand up. You have to unlearn everything that you've learned.
I always feel
Yeah.
that when I see people, like you sometimes would see people and the looks is because I suppose it's your instincts. You want to play the role of
Yes,
somebody, and
yeah.
often you see folk that
Right.
if they're from an acting background, it looks like they're playing the part of a stand-up rather
Yeah.
than being their authentic selves.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it just doesn't come across authentic, and people don't really react to the the jokes as much.
Well, don't you think you can tell if an actor's doing stand-up?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just like that, yeah.
It's too stagey.
Yeah, it's too stagey, and you're like, it's too much of a performance. It's a completely different style of performance.
Tammy.
And so how do you like?
Okay,
Do you,
chopping it every 2 seconds.
I've got no respect for it.
so do you have any specific examples or something that was like a big thing that you had to unlearn?
That's just stuff like I'd never look anyone in the eye. I'd always look at the back wall, like things like that. And I see other actors doing that when they're doing stand-up, and
they're just performing it over the audience's heads, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if you were doing like a play, you would never look at anyone in the eye. You would do just
No, because you've got the fourth wall, right? So you know,
you can't be like, what are you talking about? You know?
Yeah, right. Well,
to be or not to be.
Gonna just fuck off. It's my birthday.
The fellow's lost it, man. Did you not tell me you taught stand-ups before you did it?
No, I
Was
didn't
it
teach stand-up. I
improv,
taught improv.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, so I did improv as well for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought stand-up's just being good at lying, isn't it? That's what we were saying the other night.
Well,
Good
because
lying.
I've read that Del Close book. What's the one? The improv one, and it talks about how like basically stand up, you're a salesman or a salesperson, and whereas obviously in improv it's all about, you know, and it's like about going for the joke and stuff. But in improv you need to kind of, it's all about the honesty in the moment and not like jumping at the gag.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
doing that, and I actually think a lot of stand-ups could learn from some of the principles that you take up in improv.
Yeah. It's called bulldozing in improv.
Right.
When someone will just go for the gag all the time, but it's at the detriment of the scene, or it's at the detriment of what you're building.
Like the Michael Scott thing in The Office. You seen that?
No.
Does improv, their David Brent character, and he's got a gun in every scene. No matter what's going on, it's fucking hilarious.
That's so good.
See, when I done the audition for Scott Squad,
Yeah.
it's like kind of improv audition, and it was like a group audition, and
I remember. Yeah.
this comedian who
Don't name him.
I'm not gonna name him, but he just kept doing like wee bits of wordplay
remember you
all the
telling me
time,
this,
and it was so fucking annoying.
what are you
Like
doing?
it was set in a fish shop, and he'd go, "Looks like someone's been battered in here," and then he'd go,
What is this, the fishing awards?
It kept saying shit like that, and it was like it wouldn't give anyone anything like
nothing
to
you
work
can work
with.
They've got him hook, line, and sinker. And all that, is it?
Unless it was the character in the scene was like a stand-up.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes. Just,
Exactly.
That's the only way it
Need
could
to
work.
wait till we watch Bait, the BAFTA winning film. Maybe
Yeah.
that's all that is.
Yeah.
I know.
So that's frowned upon, is it? Doing that sort of stuff.
Well, yeah, because you're supposed to be like creating something together. And that's kind of not doing that, is it? It's just, how can I get a laugh here, which is not the aim of it will just be funny. So yeah.
And did it take a while then? Because like, did you start talking about like yourself when you started stand up, or did it take a while for you to kind of?
Yeah, that's really hard. I think talking about yourself is so hard, and now I can't stop. But at first I was like, I'll just do a character. I was so like, it was so difficult. And now, and I think that's the reason why I put off doing stand-up, was because I knew that as soon as I started talking about myself, I'd just tell them absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And like, radical honesty, like I just talk about I just don't care. Like I'll just... Yeah, it's bad. It's way too honest and way too, yeah.
But that's what you do love to see in stand up, don't you? And like, I've maybe only recently started maybe being a bit more personal and stuff like that. But there is a thing, as you know, you watch like big American comics or whatever, and they're talking about their kids or their marriage or whatever, and then like, but when you start doing it yourself and you realise that like you are telling real stories about real people, and they have sometimes have personal consequences, and I guess you just need to kind of like be like, well, you know, fucking, you know, the audience, as long as they find it funny, then, you know, fuck my ex-boyfriend or my
There was at
fucking-
least 4 people in my audience yesterday who are in my show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, weird.
Did they say anything to you after?
Well, I've got a story about taking eckies at Transmit with a girl that I'd broken off with, and she was there with her mum yesterday.
Oh.
But I'd already told her ahead
mum
of time.
knows.
But hey,
That's crazy.
mum's a fan.
Yeah, fair play.
Fuck it.
Did they give you some money in the bucket?
Yeah.
Good.
It's all bums on seats, isn't it? But this is the peril of talking about your real life on stage, I suppose. And your show's very personal.
It is, yeah. It's way too personal.
What's
But-
your show about?
I mean, what are some of the top lines I talk about? I don't like taste of cum. I talk about. There's a good 7-minute bit on that.
The theme of the show, though.
Yeah,
That's the
that
whole
is like
thing.
what I'm being sort of like. Oh, here she is. Come.
I tell you, it's no rattler pair, that's for sure.
UK's only anti-cum comedian.
And I talk about stealing. That I like stealing, and
You like it?
well, I'm good at it, so I do like it. Yeah.
Petty crime, is it?
Hey.
Petty crime?
Yeah. Well, I'm not from people or anything. Just from conglomerate corporations.
What sort of things were we talking about?
I always go to Oliver Bonus. I don't like that shop, but I just steal stuff from there, and everything that I steal, every time I steal from there, whenever I look at the thing I've stolen, I'm always like, "This is ugly. Why have I got this?" And I can't tell if it's
Can't
like
beat
I
the
can't tell
price,
if I.
though.
No, you can't beat the price, but like I can't tell if it's like tainted. Because I've stolen it, like I'm a bit disgusted in myself, and that's why I think it's ugly. Or like everything they sell in that shop's just ugly. Yeah.
Well, Oliver Bonus was married to
Yes.
that woman who got off with Matt Hancock, so he
Yes.
actually stole his fucking wife from him, to be
Yeah.
fair.
It's a
So-
moral act. What
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
It's
he's
pretty-
getting robbed left, right, and centre.
Can't catch a break. That.
Yeah. Can't
like-
keep hold of his wife or his stock. So.
Is that? Have you always done that, or is that a recent thing?
I used to do a bit when I was younger, and now I think it's just. I think sometimes you're putting so much effort into some parts of your life, and you're being so squeaky clean. Like I work really hard, and I think I'm a good friend and like a good daughter. I don't know why.
It's starting to feel like therapy now.
Right?
Bad consumer.
But then I act really like dicely in other parts of my life. I think maybe it's like a control, like this is for me. Or I don't know. It's like a control thing. I don't know.
Do you get like a rush from it? Or?
Sometimes I'm just can't be bothered to queue, and that's my validation. It's just like I don't have time. It's not that I can't afford it. I haven't got the time.
It's like pissing yourself on the slide all over again.
Yeah, no, it's more successful than that. Like, it's more
And you just try to seek out more confrontation that you so know and love by, like
getting caught.
Yeah, do you want to
Yeah.
get caught?
I think the difficult thing about this career is that if you've got a criminal record, it doesn't matter, and that really plays on my mind. That really is like a source of constant temptation for me. Is that like I can live however I want, really.
Welcome to the
Chris
show.
McCaverboy just
Chris
entered
McCaverboy.
like Kramer in Seinfeld. He just walks through the door.
Yay!
Say hi to the cameras, Chris.
What's going on?
He's in the background.
Yeah.
Imagine he came in with a wireless mic as well, just straight in. No worries, man.
Hiya.
See you in a bit.
43. Yeah, look at that. 15 minutes.
That's. Have you?
That's your
ev-
thieving.
Have you-
Sorry, stealing. Yeah.
Have you ever been caught? No.
No.
Right. That's good. You're
Yeah.
good at
You're
it.
good at it.
It's
Yeah.
because and I'm white, so that's part of it, isn't it? Like.
Do you know, like, are you aware of where all the cameras are and stuff, and you go to a blind spot?
I'm regretting bringing her into a flat now. Should have done this one.
It's not that good in here, guys. No, because you can just like earrings and stuff. You can just like pull those, and I really shouldn't get into it.
For
I
the
feel
listeners,
bad
if you're listening,
explaining
she
it.
does have 4 different pairs of earrings on currently.
Well, I'm trying to work out which one's
Steve, have you ever stolen? I feel like you've told a story about stealing before in your youth.
At the co-op when I worked there, sometimes I would take a wee Ribena for myself. I think that's part of the job.
I think that's fine. I think
That's
you get
fine.
free help yourself to anything in there, surely.
Yeah,
Stealing.
I think that's part of the job. You're allowed a wee Ribena, surely. No?
Yeah, I think you are. My
Just
brother
think
works
Between
at
friends.
Yeah.
my brother works at co-op, and the discount's not that good, is it?
Shit.
Yeah,
5% off food
5%. That's
Nah.
ridiculous.
and 30% off funerals.
Oh, okay. Well, that's quite.
Pretty good.
Swings and roundabouts.
I seen it. I passed the thing yesterday, and it was Scotmid Funeral Services, and I'm like, how many fucking shops have
The
got?
co-op owns Scotmid, or have they just got a similar vibe about them?
Aye, similar
Thing.
vibe for sure.
So, no, well, there's a Scotmid co-op down at my
Yeah.
bit. I don't know if there's a thing.
I don't know what's going on.
And then there's co-op key stores as well.
Oh, really?
They've got fingers and mini pies. Do you know what I would love to do? I'd love to like just get a thing and then just chuck money in the counter.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd
Yeah,
be
that's
sassy.
Yeah.
It's one of my fantasies.
It's very easily
Like,
done.
You're in Primark and you just run past
You're
everyone,
like,
throw
I've
some
not
money
got
on the
time for
counter,
this.
and then
Throw
run
them
out.
20 quid and walk away with my goods.
I have done that before. I think it was pajamas,
Have
and
you?
I just left the money on the.
But did it still have the
pile.
tag on it and it was beeping when you walked out?
Yeah, but that no one comes after you. This is really, I can't. This is bad. Yeah, no one comes after you. So.
Then
Means
you'd need
to-
to buy a little machine to take the tag off in the house.
Have you never accidentally had a tag on something when you've been shopping,
What?
and then you're walking around and I'm setting all the bleepers off everywhere I go, and no one says anything? Have you never noticed
No one
that?
Really
cares.
confident, no one cares.
Yeah, if
No
you
one
just
cares.
I was in Sainsbury's yesterday and a guy's walked out and it all bleeped and they've done anything.
No, because if I'm working there, I don't give a fuck either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. During lockdown, it got really bad, actually, until I just thought about Sainsbury's. I was just nicking every time I went in there. I couldn't leave and not have tech. I think it was to do with lockdown. I don't know. I was just going a bit doolally. And I just couldn't leave without having something for free. I don't know. I was just like, I'm losing so much right now.
Yeah.
I need to gain.
Yeah.
I'm losing time. I'm losing, like, the prime of my life. I need to gain.
Let's just
So,
get a couple of bananas.
well, a couple of bananas, mate. I'm talking. No, there's
Well,
more
with-
expensive things than bananas, isn't there? And that's what I'm saying. You can graduate. It becomes better. Like
That's it. And it's a slippery slope
It
before you know
is.
it, you know.
Yeah.
it is, especially if it's still in olive oil. Yeah,
Or pissing down a fucking
I'm all about liquids.
That's cool. What other things do you talk about in the show?
I talk about accidentally taking cocaine to jury duty.
Taking it to the... I thought you said taking it at...
Taking it. I do imply that I take it at the court, but that didn't happen. But I did take cocaine to jury duty. Yeah.
Oh,
What
God.
was jury duty like in general?
It was quite fun.
Aye.
But when you see the system, you're like, oh, I mean, aside from the fact that I was literally a criminal walking into jury duty.
You get a legal substance on you, you just nick something for the Sainsbury's on the way there.
You're watching
Best man on
someone
the
else
job.
going like, I think he's a bad guy actually. I think he's a wrong un. It's when you're in the court system, you're like, oh, it's really broken. Nothing works. I'm talking just like technologically and like physically and literally nothing works.
Wow.
And so the amount of time and money they must spend just holding people around places.
That's crazy.
But it is interesting.
Are you allowed to talk about what the case was that you were?
Was it
it was a while
a
ago.
worse crime than the cocaine thing? No.
It
That would be
was
quite funny.
was it worse crime? What a question. He'd beaten some guy up and
That's
taken
it.
his watch.
I'd say that's worse.
Yeah. And it was like,
You're not kicking fuck out of all of the bonus. That's something.
No. Like the watch thing I can let go, but the battering is
he just knocked him out, took his watch,
This is why Steve's scared to walk the streets.
and then you'll be all right up here too. I'll look after you, darling.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry.
I've been
Um,
triggering your fears of confrontation right now. For
Yeah.
sure.
this is a horrible...
But when you're
And
on the duty, when you're on the jury, you're like, oh my God, no one knows anything about. And I was trying to explain to them, like, he probably did do it, guys. And they're like, how do you know? And I'm like, I know some bad people. And he basically knocked the guy out, took his watch, and then the CCTV footage shows him taking something out of his pocket, looking at it, and then putting it back in his pocket. And he said that's his keys. And everyone's like, I believe him, it could have been his keys. It's like, have you never met someone who robs before? Do you think he's knocking someone out? And they could see the CCTV footage of that as well. And then going, I hope I've got my keys. Like, of course you're not. He's looking at the watch he's just nicked. Like,
Maybe he knocked him out with the keys in his knuckles and he was checking that there wasn't blood all over them.
yeah, well, but that's still bad.
Yeah, still
So
a bad
I couldn't
guy.
believe that people would really believe that.
Yeah.
I was like, are you joking? Like,
Mad that that's how it
it
works.
was
Like,
worrying. It was really worrying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure this is something that was covered by fucking Aristotle here, the Greek mythology expert.
I know who it is. Yeah.
But isn't it mad that they just get just a bunch of random cunts and using it to decide? There's lawyers there. How can they not just say like they should be able to judge the law better than a bunch of random people that don't know fucking shit about dick, you know?
I think they basically like clear it
I heard
all
you say
up. And shit about it.
So it's a very stew phrase, not a very
That's it. I
hard
thought that was you saying
We
it.
said that.
So
a lot
what's
to
the
them, man.
script?
It's nice to have you on the team, though.
You know. But do you know what I mean? Though it's like, how isn't it mad that nobody's qualified to to really make these decisions, and you just pick
Yeah.
people at random.
And it does have a big impact on the sentencing.
Yeah.
But I think what they do is they kind of clear the lawyers will like clear everything up as much as they can, and then it will just be like one grey area that's left, and that's what the jury will judge.
Oh.
But so I think he only got acquitted for one count, but I was livid because I was like, he's blatantly done them all. I was like, he's obviously done all of them. And they were like some kids from Oxford Uni there, and they were like, well, we just want to go back to the definition of the word. And it's like, what do you mean definition of the word? Like, have you never met someone who's like a wrong? I just don't. It was obviously him. Like, I can't. And they're like, how do you know? And I'm like, I just do. Like, I know it was obviously him.
Fucking look at him.
And then what they do is they read out when they've done this. That right? I was like, right.
I think the law would be very different if you were in charge. Yeah.
Well, I think it'd be more accurate. And they read out a list of all the things that he'd done, and I looked back at them and I was like, you idiots. I was like, obviously it was him.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm talking about. But is it still is it a thing here that like it needs to be a unanimous decision? So like,
yeah, because
you could have held it up for months if
so it had to be unanimous, and so I really wanted to go home. So I said, if we just say he's guilty for these 2 counts, and we'll let him off on the minor count, because these morons were like, we're not sure, and obviously he'd done all of it. So I think the sentencing was still the same, and I was like, let's just let him have it because I want to go home.
Yeah. I wonder how that so many people must have got off because of that very reason, or just
loads of people,
or just because idiots have been convinced by some fucking slick lawyer who talks a lot of bullshit, and then
no, that's exactly what happens, and then that is exactly what happened, and I didn't even think the lawyer was that good, but that's what gave us.
He's also clearly a criminal. He
stole the wig.
And you're in like this tiny room, and you're like, everyone wants to get out, so you're like, well, let's just come on, hurry it up, let's come to a decision.
Have you guys ever done jury duty?
No, we'd love to. Get on the phone to my agent.
No, I'm not on the
jury. I'd love to be
that's
seen
why
for
I've
that.
never voted. I don't want to be on. No, I have voted, obviously. But that's you need to be on the polling register or whatever the fuck it's called, don't you?
Are you not on that?
No, I'm
okay. You're talking like you're not. What's that thing?
Yeah.
You need to be on.
I feel like we're really advocating a life of crime in this episode.
Yeah, that's my
no
fault.
downsides. Stealing is easy, and you'll get away with almost anything.
Oh God. Oh, I feel bad now. I feel like I'm
Don't know if we
giving
can
away
release
too much.
No.
This is behind a paywall. It's fine. Don't worry.
I don't know if it's spoilers or whatever.
Is this not a Patreon episode?
No.
Is it not?
I don't know.
Oh
what this
shit!
is,
We've
mate.
been very
Loose-lipped.
loose-lipped.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't think. Well,
Am I going to be
I
in
don't think
trouble?
Tamsyn's going to sign up
I
to
guess
come
it's-
on it, to promote our show to the.
I
fucking
suppose. Yeah.
I don't steal
300
or take
listeners.
drugs anymore.
Anymore.
This is all for
Yeah.
comedic effect, you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is all
Yeah, it's all
bullshit.
just
I'm
lies.
actually
I've
very
never read a book.
confrontational.
Jesus
You
Christ.
can't.
Yeah, you pricks.
Can we talk about
I'm
Blobby?
sorry.
Yeah. Can we? I think we need
Please,
to
can we
talk
talk about
Blobby.
Blobby? Yeah.
Can we talk about what?
Blobby?
Oh, Blobby. Oh.
Tamsyn's obsessed with Mr. Blobby.
Yeah. I'm not obsessed with him. Like,
think
I
you
see
are.
him every day. Like, I'm not. But now I've got Mr. Blobby thread in my show, and I have a Mr. Blobby come every night.
That's great.
To the delights of the people.
Has Mr. Blob become nicer to taste than the... Sorry.
You have made this so horrible. Why have you done that?
Right.
Why have you done that?
Wow.
He doesn't have a penis, though, does he? He's
You
just
said
smooth
Mr.
down
Blobby
there.
come every night, and they just...
You've
He
put
comes
two
into the
and
show every night, you dirty beggar.
Sorry, so he comes in.
Blobby
You've
is responsible for a
immediately-
list of crimes, but not that.
I tell you
No.
what, see, when I was a wee guy, I used to love Noel's house party. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I sort of think, how me and Steve spoke this before, where we both imagined that we were basically in the Truman Show, even though we'd never seen it. But I think it kind of started because
The different shows.
Because I basically thought Noel's got a house and he's got cameras in it and people watch him. Maybe my house is the same.
Did you have Blobby
I
cutting
didn't know. I
about?
Mr. Blobby, but I thought maybe he's hiding for me.
Maybe Blobby's in the cupboard.
It could be.
Yeah, we thought. Did you ever think that your life was a TV show? Any of you?
Nah, we've been through this. I wasn't quite as narcissistic as you two.
No.
Evidently.
Was that ever a thing for you?
I've thought it and then obviously quickly gone, that's a load of rubbish. But
Yes.
I think you've not even thought that once.
No, I don't have the imagination for that.
So that René Descartes thing, am I the only person that exists and is everyone else robots or animals or something? But anyway, how did we get off?
We don't know his thoughts on Blobby, ultimately, do we? Descartes.
So what did you like about Mr. Blobby so much?
Well, I really liked him when I was a kid. I think it's because he's sort of anarchic and chaotic, and I like that.
He's quite scary as well.
I don't think
I
he
think
is.
he's quite scary.
I don't think he's scary. I think he's like,
Those eyes.
yeah, but he's just silly.
It was the sound of his voice, I think, was scary.
The sound of his voice is terrifying.
That guy in your audience did a good impression of him last night.
He did. That was really good. Biggest laugh of the show. I think he's just fun. I think he does. I like how he. I think I'm really. I'm a very basic person in terms of like what makes me laugh, and just like a pink
monster slashing
just going around
place.
knocking stuff over I find really funny. Just I find like just someone just like pushing loads of shit over and destroying it really funny.
That's great.
When I was at school, like the girl who sits next to me is still one of my like best friends, but I used to like push all of her stuff off the desk, and then when she'd go around and try and put it back on, I'd just keep pushing it off, and that was like delightful for me. I found that
That's
so.
brilliant.
No, she was laughing as well.
Right, sure.
It was better than
Through the
didn't work.
tears. She was laughing through the tears.
Was that directly inspired by the actions of one Mr. Blobby?
Quite possibly. Possibly had a bigger impact on me than I realised.
Is there one specific Blobby that you've brought with you, or is it different people playing Blobby, or can you not divulge?
No, it's a different person every night.
Right.
It really is the new Hamlet. It's like, what are they bringing to the role? You know, like everyone's bringing something different to Blobby. And like Jordan Brooks was quite, I'm going to say it, quite intense and violent as Blobby.
Really? Wow.
And then like Alison Spittle was like probably really like sweet and
Nice
she was
Blobby.
quite loving, and it was nice. Yeah.
I've seen that Liam Withnell was Blobby one time.
He was very
Good
sort of
Blobby?
balletic and actually incredibly light on his feet in a way that I was not expecting.
Graceful Blobby.
Really graceful and very composed.
I'd quite like
Love
to be
that.
Blobby.
Would you?
Do you think these
You
two could be
can.
Blobby?
Yeah, I don't think you could,
Yeah,
but I
we've
think
been through this. I keep trying to strong arm her.
Do you want to be Blobby?
I'd love to be Blobby.
I'd happily be Blobby.
I think
Blobby's
actually,
a great
You just got the
word.
most,
Tamsyn won't let me be Blobby.
no.
No.
Why?
What, can you understand why?
Yeah.
You'd be a lethargic Blobby, I
But
think.
then
Right.
Stu, when he's on stage, is very different, because even I think Fringe Monkey guy today said that you're very animated on stage.
Very
which you are.
animated.
I'd say it's animated, but you've done moved. You don't like
Move
move
a
from the
little.
spot. Okay.
It's only a small stage. Let me prove myself to you. I'm like Lee Evans up there.
Yeah, I think I could do a good Blobby. I would like to see. I think I would just. I like the improv thing. I think I would chase the authenticity of the moment and get my authentic self. You right?
I can just see CMB's shadow over there.
Is he crawling about?
He's most of the feast.
Hey man. What was your plan? What were
Why
you
has he
going to do?
got a toothpick?
Would you be a good
he's-
Blobby, CMB? Yeah. Big time.
He's, he's got a toothpick because he stopped smoking and he has to have some sort of.
You've got to
Can
have
you?
something.
Is the fridge in shot?
No, I don't think so. Maybe just
Good
in the back.
Patreon content of guess which shelves whose.
Yeah.
His
This
is the one
not
that's
a
just
Patreon
Iron
episode,
Brew.
I think. I think it's Patreon.
Oh, yeah,
episode.
so.
So top shelf, chicken soup, square sausage, is this?
CMB.
Nailed it. Middle shelf, broccoli.
Stu.
Okay.
Moretti, Mark.
Moretti and Love Pack.
And some black.
Is there bacon in there?
Blackberries.
That's Mark.
Yeah, some Love Pack. Best idea.
Can I just sit and join you?
That's right. Well,
We're
we're about to
about
wrap
finished
up in a
then,
minute anyway. How are you, Christopher? You've just returned from your travel.
This is like our Blobby.
Yeah. Coming out and fucking shit up.
Interrupting the show. How does Blobby come in just at the end, or is it throughout?
So there's like a thread
Right.
where I talk about Blobby, and then he's comes out at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't want to spoil it too much.
Well, that's it. That's what happens.
I keep seeing you post pictures of it, so I think it's fine.
I do keep posting pictures because it's a great kind of. I think it's a good way to get attention.
Well, you can give your thoughts to Mr. Bob if you like, but I'm also interested. Have you ever stole anything, and if so, what?
I steal stuff all the time, man.
Oh,
I love
couple of
stealing it.
kleptos on today.
It's fun. You get a wee rush,
Yeah.
and I don't do coke anymore. So
Me neither. I had to go to jury duty and get taken off from me. Yeah, no, that's when it got worse. I think.
last thing I stole was a Pokemon card.
from a young child.
Well, or another dweeb like me. But I was in a theatre and somebody left a Pokemon card in the dressing room, and I went, and just
I
fucking.
wouldn't say that's stealing.
That could be a famous person's Pokemon
Could
card.
have been Frank Skinner's Pokemon card. Or
Who's
something.
leaving individual Pokemon cards places? That
That's like
seems
something a
really.
murderer would do.
Yeah.
It sounds really
red-
suspect.
Just look at the.
What
who's-
was it? What was the card, bro?
Oh, I've got it in the room actually.
Wasn't Jinx? No, Liam's card.
It wasn't the Jinx card. It was
No
a new
Jinx
one called
Pokemon.
Tarantula or something, and he's like a wee spider whose body is made of webs. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cute.
That's good. Sounds good. I stole a wee guy's deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards,
That's sick.
A
That's
whole
sick.
deck. That is sick.
and then I panicked and I returned them that night
Oh.
That's you. That's the both. That's two sides of your character. Right there. That's the whole story.
because I didn't even like Yu-Gi-Oh.
My Pokemon cards got nicked in primary 2 at my tray. I've never really got over it. I've never trusted again.
So did mine.
Suspect, prime
You can't
suspect
leave
number
stuff
one.
in your tray. That's
Mm.
everyone knows that. You shouldn't leave stuff
Learned
in
that the hard
trays.
way.
I wish I
Yeah.
still had a tray.
Tray.
It was a good,
Class
wasn't
having a
Oh,
tray,
yeah.
it? It
innit?
was good having
I
a tray.
loved having
When
a
you got
tray.
under the desk trays.
Yeah, oh my
Because they
God.
used to be just all in a stack, right? And then you get older and you get your own
Yeah.
one under the desk.
That's
That's
class.
very, very good.
Did you ever try and
great.
saw through it with your ruler?
No.
That was satisfying.
I was really grateful to have
chasing
my
that
tray under my desk.
Did you pencil sharpen it into your tray? I used to sharpen my pencil in my tray.
Yeah.
Filth.
It's the original George Foreman drip tray.
That's what all the George Foreman drip
Yeah,
trays
trays are
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realise trays were so universal. I thought that was our school kind of thing.
You know,
Turns out everywhere.
you never know that's a Scottish government sort of fucking deal, or you
Just
know,
a school
they just
thing.
bought a certain type of desk or some shit. But no, trays. Yeah, I think that's the
Bring
one.
back trays.
That's a unifier.
Yeah.
Mm.
That can be the thing that keeps Cornwall part of this great.
Imagine it
United
around someone's
Kingdom.
house.
Tray Nation.
Oh, we spoke about Cornish independence. Oh,
Yeah, we spoke about it briefly, but there wasn't. It wasn't a source
Did we
of much
get-
humour.
We did, yeah, well, we, you know, have you got a thought on it?
I think everybody should be independent. Everybody should be independent.
Okay.
Every city.
Every person.
Yeah, every person. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, listen, I think that probably about covers it for this week. Tamsyn, thank you very much for joining us.
Where's your
Aw.
show?
Thank you.
My show's called Crying in TK Maxx, and
Great.
it's at Bunker
Great.
1 at 8:40.
Cannot believe you never even got
It's
on
a great
talking
show.
about that. Actually, just the concept.
Yeah, do you want to
behind
quickly tell people why you called it that?
I
Or is
just
that
called
really
it
nice?
that to hook people in to come and see it. I was like, what do people like? Crying, shopping. Yeah.
TK
That
Maxx.
great. There you go.
That's
yeah.
a good title. I
It'd
like
be good
that.
if that it turned out that the reveal was you were crying in the TK Maxx security office after you'd been caught stealing it.
You're not far off, actually. You're not far off.
Don't
Alright.
spoil it, Jen.
Well, sorry, no spoilers. But what time are you on again?
8:40.
8:40 at the
The
Pleasance.
Pleasance.
Peasants Courtyard, Bunker 1.
Sweet. Well, check that out.
Check that out.
We will get this out.
I've not seen it yet, but I will see it.
We've
It's very funny.
got a sofa of blobbies here, potentially. I feel bad now.
It's alright,
Sorry.
wasn't it?
I
So-
I would die to be a Blobby.
Oh.
I met Blobby in 2001.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
And what was he like?
he was sound. He was so sound.
I knew it.
He was in London. I was in London. Say no more.
You and Blobby in Eminem's world.
Yeah, we hooked up.
Was there a certain guy who played Blobby on No South Park? No, it was a different person at the time.
And it was one actor.
Aye.
And because people have been DMing me and like getting in touch with me with Blobby information. And someone got in touch with me and said, oh, I know the actor and he's got one of the suits. And at Christmas, the kids always get it out and they just beat the shit out of each other.
How did you get a suit?
I don't. So the one I've got is not like one of the good ones. It's
Aye.
just one of. I don't want to put people off coming to the show. Like the Blobby suit's not up to par. But it's just
It's a
like one of-
replica. It's not like the, you know, like they've got
Yeah.
in football. You've got the fucking, you know, the one the
It's a
team wear.
Snyder Blobby.
Yeah.
It's a very good suit. It does the job.
Does
yeah.
look good. I know.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, definitely check that out.
Mhm.
As ever, please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can follow us at Some Laugh Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Quickly, Tamsyn, where can people follow you?
Well, I didn't listen
Where
to
can
that. I'm sorry.
What's your online?
I've switched off.
Where can people
they
follow
find me
you online?
My name's Tamsyn Kelly on everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tamsyn with a
There's the
Y.
answer.
Tamsyn with a Y, yeah.
Tamsyn
That's
with a Y.
crucial. Little
Yeah,
I like your hand of money here,
sign
Mark.
up to the Patreon as well. Yeah, we're all about to, just discover each other a wee bit more on this couch. Anyway,
You're so horny today, Jennings. What the fuck?
Anyway, yeah, I'll tell you about Mr. Blobby's cum really, doesn't it? Anyway, right, thanks a lot for tuning in. Not good.
Rhubarb and
I
custard.
reckon it tastes like. Do you remember that can they used to bring out? It was like a fizzy pink drink in Woolworths, and it had Mr. Blobby on it. Do you remember that? I reckon it tases like that.
I think it tastes
Yazoo.
the I'm saying the Teletubbies, those, they have like pink slop.
Yeah, yeah.
Tubby
Tubby
custard.
custard, that's
I think it
it.
tastes like tubby custard.
Yeah, I
They
think you're
not just
right.
eat toast like you. That's it. they only eat toast, right?
Tubby toast and tubby custard.
And tubby custard.
Toast and the classic combination of toast and custard.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was a
I
big
mean,
dish.
they call it tubby toast, but you don't
It
toast.
did look like a pancake.
I mean, come on, guys. Sorry, I had to sit down for this to tell you. I disagree with it, Brandon.
I actually think we need to clear that up. I think you're right. Yeah, it wasn't
Sound
a
off in the
pancake.
comments, whatever you think. Yeah, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in.
Cheers, guys.
See you soon.
Thank you so much,
Tamsyn.
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 Cheers.
Yeah.